is something that when you're here to learn how to raise capital, that's what I believe. We had a lot of questions. And so if you have questions about raising capital, if you ever raise capital, raise your hand because I would love to have you um, join the panelist room and we can exchange information. Maybe you can, role play with me. Let's make this session fun, okay? Um, take notes. Take notes. Um, and most importantly, make sure you're taking action after this. I'm going to give you homework. Yes, we're giving you homework. All right. And we want to make sure that we are covering your questions. So make sure you put your questions here. Um, so if you have been invested in real estate, and I should be able to see your answers now here, but if you've been invested in the real estate for at least 1 year, put number one, or actually put the number of doors or units that you currently have. I want to see who's in the audience because I want to make sure that I'm gonna call you out. Let's play. Let's make this a practical session, okay? And if you have done sales in your line of business, or if you've done any kind of training on sales, also put sales so that I can see who has been. Let me see. I see something here. Three. Okay. I love it. I love it. Yeah. Awesome. Okay. Nobody else has real estate, guys? We need to fix that. Seriously. 2025, 2026 is the new year. We need to fix that. Everybody should have a real estate investing. That's the that's my favorite vehicle to increase, not only increase my net worth, um, decrease my taxes or optimize my taxes. In my case, eliminate my taxes, help others, impact others people's lives, not only the present, but the future or in their generations. So it's the way that we impact generation or leave a generational impact. Um, it's the way that we provide services, the much needed services of housing. That's the way we create a business, create jobs, we pay taxes from the business, we pay taxes, and we keep the community and the economy in some way. We keep them, keep the American economy going. So think about it. So if you have not invested yet in real estate, I hope that that's the reason why you're here. And so 118 as an LP, yes, in sales. I love it. I love it. I love it. Okay. Okay, let's see. I want to get two real estate investments. As I'm asking, that's awesome. Yes, two real estate investments. That's it? Two? Guys, we need to change that. We need to go big. We need to go bigger, think bigger. Awesome. I see hands up, so I'm gonna bring you in. I love it. Okay, so thank you. Thank you for the participation. Let's see, closing on a 50 units. That's awesome. I love it. And okay, so let's get started. Well, first of all, if you're in the real estate, maybe because I see a lot of you are not there yet, and put your put your comments. You're presented with a challenge here. Okay, everybody's telling me the chat is disabled. Well, put your. I am reading your questions. Okay, so there is a way to communicate with me. All right, let's not make this difficult. Let's make this a functional way so that we can keep going. Okay, I try to put the fix the chat, and I'm technically challenge. So I just put your questions, put your chats, put your comments in the Q&A. It actually keeps me more focused because I stopped trying to fish for all the questions. So just send your comments and questions. Give me thumbs up. Give me, la ha 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 type of expressions. I'm okay with that. Okay, so yeah, if you are, thank you. If you are thinking real estate, maybe you're thinking, well, I might not have a lot of money. So how do I get started if I don't have any money? So Chris, let me bring you in because I see your hand is up. Let me see. All right. He was making enough noise, so I'm like, let me see when I start paying attention to this technical stuff. Um, I get distracted. So I want to make sure that I stay focused for all of you. I want to make sure that your time is valuable and that I deliver and I give you valuable information and actual steps so that you can go and crush it this year. Okay. Oftentimes people ask me, well, when do I start, racing for or promoting my deals? Like we're gonna put a smile on our faces. Okay. Okay. A crazy, crazy smile. But when do you start raising capital? And the answer is last year, the year before, the year that you even started thinking I need to buy real estate. Let's suppose because I get this question very often or this comment. Well, I don't have a lot of capital. Well, guess what? You don't have to have any capital. And I know it sounds crazy, and I know you probably hear that and you think it's a scam. And if that's you, um, then I need you to remove that way of thinking because sometimes the things that you tell yourself that to be truth are nothing but a lie. And I want you to be open to that idea. I bought, several deals with no money. Let me say that again. I bought several deals with no money. Okay, so I want you to remove that belief that you have to have a lot of money, you have to be a millionaire to get started. That is not true, especially these days with all the technology that we have available. We have all ways to communicate, all different ways to communicate and to stay connected, to build relationships and add value to others. And that's the last two words that I said. I need you to be writing things down to connect with others and to add value to others. If nothing else, if you have to disconnect, if you are, if you're, just doing this on listen mode, I want you to take note of those two things. When you add value to others, when you connect to others, that's how you're going to start building the net worth of investors. Now, let me get back a little bit, back up to the principles. And the reason why I ask you guys if you are on sales is because when and this goes to anything, your relationship, your family, your interaction, if you are providing a service, if you are raising capital, if you are having to decide whether you're going to dinner or you want to go happy hour, like any decision that you make, you're being influenced by other people or you're influencing other people. I'm going to tell you in simple terms. When I was about to deploy, a friend of mine, he told me, when you are out there, this is going to be very vulgar, but I'm going to tell you this because I want you to tattoo this message, and not in a bad way. Okay. When he said, if you're either you're somebody's bitch, or you're or somebody's, or you're making somebody else bitch, something like that. To the relation was is that you're selling your message, your product, your service, your ideas, or somebody else is selling you their ideas, their message, their product. So let's get to business. Let's suppose that you're interviewing somebody for a job. You're about to hire somebody. You are, as the business owner, as the person that is interviewing them, you're having to sell them on the idea that your company is the company that they need to be working for. Okay, so that you're selling them your idea. All right. If they're selling you back, and they're giving you all the reasons why that they are not going to move forward with you. Maybe they don't like also your property, your business. Now you're being sold on their idea. Okay, so selling is a transaction. Is a one way or the other way. I'm gonna put it in a different direction. So let's suppose that you're trying to decide, hey Chris, do you want to go grab dinner after this? And then he's like, well, no, I want to work. I want to do something else. Maybe I want to go to the pool. Maybe I want to go take a hike. Well, if I really want to go for a dinner at my favorite restaurant, I need to sell him and the idea that I want to go have dinner. So that becomes that push back and forth, right? So, some of the sales are pretty easy to do. So you make a decision, you agree on something, and it's done. Same thing with your kids. Let's take that approach. They don't want to go to school. So you have to sell them and the idea that they need to go to school. All right. So that's a everyday transaction. It's a sale. And they are going to be presenting you with objections why they don't want to go to school. And so they're trying to sell you their idea. Okay. Now take that same information into um, talking to an investor. All right. When you're talking to an investor, you are selling them the idea that if they invest with you or with, by themselves, but when they invest, when they put their money to work, they're going to make money. So you're selling them the idea. So it is so important that you understand that you are transacting. All right. So let's suppose, and maybe you can put in the chat here on the Q&A, put the reasons, like if you ever try to pitch somebody a deal, pitch somebody the idea to invest with you, write down what are the reasons why they haven't invested with you. All right. So those are going to be your objections. All right. So, and you're going to see this being recurrent reason. So I will tell you what I hear from a lot of my audience. Now, my audience is different than your audience, and that's why it's important to identify um, why who is your audience. Okay, all right, give me 1 second. Chris, do you want to move on to the panelist, the participant? All right. Do you want to?
Oh, sorry, I was muted. No, I'm good. I'm here.
Okay. If you want to go off camera, that's fine. I don't know if you're.
Gotcha.
All right. All right. So, all right. Need to learn how to raise funds. I don't have money. That's perfect. Let's go. All right.
Did I hear you? You're muted.
Sorry, he's trying to fix something that you guys asked here. Anyway, um, let's get back to so identifying the objections that you're going to hear from your potential investors and identifying who are you talking to, who is your avatar, who is your ideal investor. Okay, and again, we started with you don't need money to get started in the real estate, um, and we're going to leverage what we have. So if you don't have any money, you need to have connections, right? You have to have connections with people that has the money so that you can bring them the opportunity. I want you to take note of the words that I'm using. Okay. If you don't have money, you need to have the connections to the people that they have the capital and you're going to bring them the opportunity. All right. So a lot of the times what I hear from people that want to start raising capital is that I don't like asking people for money. And I don't have the experience. And so maybe where we need to start is identifying your own objections. What are you telling yourself, right? What are you telling yourself that is even preventing you from even having that conversation with a potential investor? Um, okay, so identifying your own objections. And again, I teach this over years, and for those of you, just because I'm looking at the name list here, and I don't recognize a lot of you, so thank you for being here. And maybe this is your first time here, um, but maybe I'll take just a few minutes to give you a background of where we were and where we transitioned from, and where we are now. So we are Chris and Marisela from Up Plex Multifamily, and we have been investing in real estate since 2006. both of us separately, and then we started investing together in 2017. We were doing investing with our own money, just like probably many of you, if you started with the single families and duplex. Um, we then in 2018, 19, we got more creative in the way we finance our acquisitions, but it was still with our own money and with our own credibility, with our own line of credits. And so it wasn't until 2022 that we actually took some investors' money. And when I said that is because before, people in our communities were seeing what we were doing and they wanted to invest with us, but we didn't know how to do it. So we stay away from that. We decided, no, let's just do our own thing. We don't need to be having that, that responsibility of handling somebody else's money. We want to cross, we don't want to have to respond to anyone. We were very comfortable keeping all the profit and keeping all the control. So because of that, we were only shopping for things that we could afford. All right. So when we started learning and understanding how we could leverage other people's experience, time, money, connections, that is when we started seeing a whole different world of different properties that initially we didn't think that we could afford by ourselves, and we couldn't. Chris, I'm getting a little echo. Sorry.
And you're muted because you said something at the very beginning, and I wanted to clarify, which was we took investors' money. We gave the opportunity for an investment, and the reason that I'm pitching in for those that are here, the reason that I'm pitching in to say that is because it's a matter of perception for you that you realize you're not taking money, you're not grabbing funds, you're not going to get people's money from things, you're offering an opportunity for investment. And that's a big difference. And that also goes around to answering somebody's question where they asked, how do I guarantee my money's not going to be lost? And I know that I'm breaking off with our story for a second, but it rolls right into that. It is not a guarantee. There is no guarantee in real estate or any other investment type that your money can't be lost. Anybody who says that is not being truthful with you when they say it's 100% guaranteed and you're investing in real estate. There is always the possibility if something goes wrong, something happens, there is a risk with investments. That's the way it goes. If you want your money to be 100% guaranteed, it can be sitting in the bank making 0.001 if you're lucky, and be backed by the FDIC, which has 99 years to pay you back if the money was ever lost. So take a look at the little excerpt that's at the bank, and it says it has 99 years to pay you back. So just wanted to throw that out there for that mindset shift is probably one of the biggest things that we had to overcome when we went from doing it ourselves to bringing investors, was to get over that concept that we were taking people's money, because that isn't what we were doing. We were offering an opportunity to invest and to grow their wealth that otherwise would not be available to them because they didn't have the time to do it. And it otherwise wouldn't be available to us because we couldn't do it by ourselves anymore. So thank you.
Awesome. Thank you. Thanks for clarifying. And that's exactly where I was going with the terminology that we use is super important, especially because you need to stay compliant with the laws. There's legality around raising capital, and if you haven't done it, and it's important that you get the proper guidance. But aside, because there's so much that we can cover, raising capital is not only like I want to get good at pitching. There's different components. First, how do you get the leads? And I'm reading your comments and I'm reading your questions, guys. I will get to them. Um, yes, those are the things. Like, okay, I'm gonna let's summarize. Okay, let me just finish our story. Sorry, I'm like getting a little off order here. Um, so yeah, so when we started taking other people's money, I'm just kidding. When we started raising capital, providing the opportunity to invest to other people, we we was it was a lot of learning curves, and that's why I wanted to share this information with you. So that allow us to go and scale and go after bigger deals, go after different markets, go at buying different deals at the same time. At one point, where we have like two deals back to back, and we needed to not only find a deal or get more deals, but also be in front of people that have the ability to invest, so find qualified investors, and then being able to have confidence to pitch the deal. So that's another component, the confidence of the pitching the deal, and understanding, what goes behind of providing an offering. And I address one of the questions here or comments here, here in a second. And then the other one is like, what systems do I need in place so I don't run crazy trying to communicate and stay in touch with all my the people that I initially connected with. And just so for context, last year we added 1,200 new qualified contacts to our database, to one of our database. So again, if you're not tracking your numbers, if you don't have systems in place, I'll guarantee you at 100 people in your database, you're going to break. You're going to be going crazy, and it's going to be so confused, and it's going to be so overwhelmed. It's going to be another job for you. So it is super important that you have the systems in place, that you use the latest technology. What I guarantee you, what we were using last year is not what we're using this year, aside from the CRM, which has been amazing. And I can share about CRM if that's something that you need. But I am telling you, you're gonna need some kind of systems in place and automatization so that you can continue to increase your database and continue to be engaged meaningfully with your potential investors, and just thrive. Okay, again, everything that I'm teaching you, or everything I'm going to be covering today, has no, like, there's no money involved, like no cost to it. Everything that I'm telling you to do, I'm teaching that to my granddaughter and my grandson, and they have no money. They have no money, but they have make money because of that. Okay, so I want you to be very intentional on what are you taking from here, from this gathering, and how you're going to apply it, because this is exactly what I personally have done, and we've done as a company to raise over, now I guess like we're like $33 million. Okay, so all right, I think Chris is answering some of those questions as well. All right, so what are the things that you need to raise capital? Again, you do need a deal. All right, but I'm going to tell you some things that you can do even if you don't have a deal. Okay, you need the confidence and the credibility. You need to have people. Okay, so you need to be in front of your avatar, your ideal audience, and you need to have the systems in place so that you don't go crazy. Okay, so if you want to put questions in relation to those four aspects of raising capital, of course, there's always the legalities around it. So we again. I'm gonna give you the guidance. You're gonna have to do your homework to associate yourself with somebody that has those systems in place, so that you can collaborate and be partner with them, and raise the capital. But I don't have the time to cover all of those details, the legalities around it. So anyway, so yeah, well, there was a question here. I don't know where to find my investors. Okay, and I think that's a very valid obstacle that you guys have. If this is new to you, you're probably thinking, well, I don't have the credibility. I don't feel comfortable and confident explaining a investment opportunity to anyone. I don't even understand it. I don't have the audience. I don't have the reach. I don't know where to find them. I don't have a deal. I don't have a team neither. So you're like just like shrinking, right? When I'm telling you all this stuff, maybe that's not you, but I will say about 99% of the people that I talk to, that's their problem. All right. No credibility, no experience, no deal, no audience. I don't have the confidence. All right. So if that's you, then, well, first of all, acknowledging is number one. And two, let's get to fixing it. Okay. So how do I know? How do you find the people to invest with you? Right? Where do you find your audience? Look at what we call your power base. The power base is people that already know you. They already have seen you do some good. Maybe you have a business, maybe you have a career, a reputation, you have a family, you're a citizen of lawful, is that a word? Yeah. A good citizen. You have ethics. Maybe you met him in church. So they know something about you, something good about you, right? And they trust you. They like you. Maybe you spend time with them on a regular basis. That is your power base. Start there. All right, start there. Again, this doesn't cost you anything. You don't have to go pay for a training, nothing. You don't have to buy a course. Although I do teach capital raising, and it's a lengthy process, but I do teach that, and I have helped people raise millions of dollars to buy their real estate, and many of them have invested with us, which is even a double win, right? Everybody wins. Actually, it's a triple win because the investors win, we win, and our partners win. Again, if you that's your power base. So start having those conversations with them, right? One, if you mess it up, if you tell them something wrong, if you don't, you don't sound confident, it doesn't matter. They don't care. They already know you and love you. So start there. Plus, you don't want to like start paying for ads or start going to big networking events and then be like, oh, I still don't know. I don't have the confidence. Okay, so you want to develop the confidence. You want to do your reps, and the people that loves you knows you, and they're gonna support you. Okay, so starting there. That's number one. Number two, there's so many opportunities that you don't it doesn't require you to leave your house. You can do a lot of virtual events where people pitch deals, where they present opportunities to invest. So go and attend those events. They're free because they're not going to charge you to listen to their pitch, and you're going to see real life, real opportunities where you can then start learning how are they presenting these opportunities. You start comparing one to another. You start seeing and defining your own pitch. You start putting your what you like to say about the deal, the market. You can start developing your own template. All right. So, and then you're gonna start getting a little fancier, maybe put a little pitch deck, maybe a little, two or three slide, PowerPoint, whatever you want to call it, and then just show because people believes more what they see than what they hear. So you want to put them in front of something. Okay, maybe it's a picture of a deal that you've been underwriting. Now somebody said, I don't have a deal. But you don't have to have the deal to go and start warming up those conversations with people so that you can start having that conversation. I'm gonna give you the simplest conversation that you can have with somebody. Hey, let's suppose that you're here. Well, you are here today. You are hearing this, right? Okay. All right. Can we all agree on that? Okay. All right. I see your head shaking. I know you're not here, but I see you. I know that you're agreeing with me. Okay. So what you're gonna do after you get off the phone, this call, you're gonna call somebody in your power base, and you're gonna tell them about the experience that you had here. I've been learning a lot about real estate. Doesn't cost you anything. You don't have to, get makeup ready or anything ready because you can just make a call. You can just send a text, okay? And there's so many ways that you can get in front of other people, your real audience. But just share your experience. You share what you learn. In this case, you can say, you know what, I was sitting in a presentation. They were talking about acquiring multifamily. That means like more than one apartment at the time, and like going after buying this different type of investments, or this type of asset or this type of property. Is that something that you've ever thought about investing in real estate? Their answer is going to be yes or no. That's it. Okay. So if they say yes, then so you develop your own path and your way of communicating. Now, when you have systems in place, this is going to be helpful is because then you can use, like we use AI to send interactive chats like this. And then, or AI that is trained with our thoughts, and our procedures and our deals and our links and our events. It goes back and forth. Well, let me invite you to this event. Well, maybe you don't have an event, but you have you're gonna put let's just jump on a call. All right. So you want to give them a call to action. You want to engage them. Again, remember, let's go back to the principles of selling. Okay. You are selling them the idea that they might want to consider investing in real estate for whatever reason. Then you go on to explain the reasons. Now, all you're doing, you don't even have a deal. You didn't spend any money. All you did is reach out to people, okay? And it's non-invasive. It's very casual, very organic. And you don't sound salesy because actually you sound like you're giving them value. Remember one of the two things that I told you earlier, you need to have connections and you need to give them value. You need to have those the spend the time to develop those relationships. So they're not seeing you as like, oh my God, here comes Chris again trying to sell me something or trying to make me invest in something. You never even asked them to invest with you, right? All you said, hey, I was in this webinar and we're talking about buying multifamilies. Most people think that there's a lot of money that you need to have to buy multifamilies. The reality is that when you buy with a group, you don't need all this money. Like you gather the capital from several investors and then you go after those deals. I don't have a deal today. I actually don't even have a deal. But if I found a deal that sounded like this, and then you go maybe over some returns, some of the business plans, and then would you be interested? Would you like me to add you to my preferred list so that I can share information with you? Again, what are the options? They're going to say yes or no. Oh yeah, sure. Keep me in the loop. Boom. You put them into this different list. Now, again, when you have systems in place, again, you're going to tag them. You're going to use your fancy CRM. By the way, the CRM that we use is $97 a month, and we do so much. Think about it. If you have one investor to invest with you, that pay for the next 10 years or your CRM on your CRM. And again, I just told you that we added 1,200 new contacts to our database. So, I mean, sometimes you have to invest money to make money. Okay. So, okay, so let me just, if I was you, and I've been attending all these webinars and meetings and learning from my mentors, all I have to say is like, I was thinking about it. I've been doing a lot of studying in real estate, and people talks about real estate, using real estate to diversify their income, to decrease their taxes, to preserve their wealth and the value of their capital, and many of them are doing it passively. My gosh, like I never thought of that. Would you have sometime next week or this weekend to get together and I just want to share with you what I learned. Most people is gonna be like, "Wow, thank you so much for thinking on me." I would love to. Let's connect, and now you have the appointment set. Okay, so again, do it very organically. The last thing you want to do is to go get a deal, get under contract, put a lot of money on the table, put the money at risk, and then turn around and be like, oh, now I need investors. Because now you're going to start sounding very salesy, very desperate, very like, oh my gosh, panicky. Like, you're just going to go into this psychotic situation because it's very stressful to have a deal. You have a deadline. You have a very set amount of time, a very limited amount of time to raise your capital. And if you don't have the capital to come to the closing table, guess what? Your money that you put as not down payment, but the escrow is at risk, meaning that you can lose a lot of money. And we've seen people lose a lot of money or get to a certain level of the acquisition and then have to back out because they failed to bring all the money together. So you don't want to go and be in that situation. And I know that was another question. Do I get a deal first or do I get investors? Well, you have to be working and what do you call no, no combination. You have to be working together in all aspects. It's like you're braiding. If I don't know if you ever braided somebody's hair, or maybe you braided your hair. If you don't follow a sequence and make progress on all the aspects that are going to be integrated to, in this case, develop, achieve the acquisition, you're gonna your braid is gonna look a little funny. You're gonna start looking like a little crazy here. So you want to have this make progress on all the aspects, making relationships with the brokers, raising capital or potential investors, potential partners. You just have to. You're gonna have to be making making what do you call it? The efforts in all aspects of the acquisition. Now, maybe you're in a team and you already have somebody that is crushing it at looking for deals. They're bringing deals left and right. You're like they're moving along, and maybe your heavy contribution is to bring the investors. So of course, you're probably gonna be more focused on raising capital, bringing those opportunities to qualify investors. But again, if you don't have a deal, I'll be looking for all of it. If I was new and I don't have a deal and I don't have investors yet, my very first thing is like I will budget my time. Okay, what do I mean by budgeting my time? I'm gonna budget my time to spend this many hours doing this task, relationships with brokers, talking to on underwriting, looking for deals, raising capital. I'm gonna be budgeting my time, and then you're gonna see that organically you are better at one aspect more, or maybe you feel more comfortable. It's more natural for you to like maybe you just like finding the deals and being out there and chasing the deals and walking the deals, and that's fine as long as you bring along somebody else in your team that can help you fill all the other gaps. Okay. Now this was another question that was here posted. How do I find investors? Where do I find my investors? Where do I find, how do I create my 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 pool of investors? Well, we talked about the power base, and let's face it, not everybody has wealthy um, friends and family that are ready to invest with you. And maybe if they are, they might not trust you because they want you to see, they want you to prove that you know what you're doing before they invest with you. So even if those people that have told you, yeah, sure, I would love to see your first, your next deal, your first deal, just let me know. And then you bring the deal and it's an amazing deal and you're ready to close and you're under contract and they're like, yeah, no, that's awesome. That looks like a good deal. Yeah, yeah, let me know when you find the next deal. I already invested, or I have my money is hard somewhere else, or so you can't just limit yourself to have, let's say, 2 3 people that they told you they're going to invest with you, because this is going to happen. This is going to happen for the first deal. This is going to happen for the 10 deal. And we just finished a race for a or 16 or 19 deal. It happened there. So don't take it personal. And there's a lot of psychology that goes behind investing money. And if you haven't read the book, The Psychology of Money, you must read it. It has a lot of information that is going to help you how people deals with money. All right. And when you understand why, like even by the decade that they were born, by the events and their lives that they were part of, by what country they came from, when you understand that and apply that information to talk to the potential investors that you're putting yourself in front of, when you personalize your message to fit their psychology of how they're processing their decision to invest. It's going to be again, it's all about getting to how can I get to a yes faster. So if you're talking to me, let's use me as an example. Okay. As many of you know, or maybe you don't know, but I'm going to tell you right now. I was born and raised in Mexico. I came to the US at age 23, so I was already an adult. I had my first career. My first career was business administration. Um, and in Mexico, you don't really have a lot of like retirement plans. Like maybe you just don't even think about it. There's like no, maybe at least in my case, nobody taught me like retire. In my family, nobody even talk about future and money. Like those two things were not combined. So coming to the US, I have to teach myself the rules of making money and building wealth. Um, so when I came to the US, I had $100 to my name. And so now, anytime, any day that I have $100 to my name, I'm winning. So the decisions that I make with my money, I'm gonna put the highest risks. I also turned 50 last year. So my time for being aggressive and being proactive and putting my money out there to work and to grow, it's limited. Okay, so again, 23, by the time that I actually have enough money to buy my first house, 2006. So I'm behind already like 3 decades. Like that's the way I felt. So I was so intentional to get my money invested. So because of that, I am very aggressive when it comes to putting my money to work, like adding no time to making a decision to invest or to buy a business or to partner with people. Like I am on a again, in 5 years we grew our net worth with three times our net worth, our personal net worth. Our portfolio grew from 3.5 million dollars to 420, I think last time we checked, million dollars. So again, 5 years, I'm looking at, okay, what am I going to do in the next 5 years? We came to that realization we need to train the people that we want to work with. We want to empower the people so we can go and capture more markets, more investors, more audiences, more. So that's why we're here, and that's why we're so intentional. And we do at least 3 events free every month, every month. And if you haven't received or schedule, I take full responsibility of that because I want you to be here. I want you. This is all free. Okay. We do have some paid mentorship that we do for those of you that are ready to like like get your hands on that's the GP pass that we spend a lot more time with, and we develop those partners because we want to do more deals. Um, but again, let's get to the psychology of money. If your investor is somebody that was born or has gone through nothing but being indoctrinated with investing in retirement accounts. The retirement accounts were introduced about 45, maybe 50 years ago. So anybody that is being raised with that mentality is gonna be, think about it. You're competing again. You're remember the sales process and the sales principles that we talked about. Somebody they have been sold on the idea that they need to be very passive. They need to like just put their money out there where with people and organizations that they know what they're doing, and then they just magically are going to have enough money to retire. That's what they believe. So you, if you're talking to that kind of audience, you're going to have to understand and speak that language and educate them on like that is no longer the truth. And then so now you're going to have to un help them unlearn those things that they believe to be true. Okay. So so again, this is how you're gonna like word your pitch to capture their fears, to address their doubts, to educate them on why multifamily or why real estate, if you're invested in other type of real estate or why business. So understanding where they came from. Maybe they have a family. Maybe they have seen some traumatic experience. Like I work in the medical community, and we've seen a lot of tragedy. And when I'm talking to my potential investors, a lot of them are in the medical community, and if they don't go to work, they don't produce income, period. You can be the highest surgeon with the most qualified skills, making like every time that you step in the operating room, you are crushing it. Well, guess what? If something happens to you, you cannot inherit or you cannot pass on your skills. If you're a doctor is gone, there's no more money, right? So I speak of again to that audience, like you don't want to be that person. You don't want to be that physician or that medical provider that hurt their hands and now they can work even if they have the intellectual ability. They are not able and capable to do it. So what are you gonna do? You're gonna diversify. You're gonna start bringing or making your money work for you in a way that you don't have to take a lot of time to diversify your income. Same thing for business owners. I know business owners that are crushing it. I mean, I've seen them, that since we started interacted more with business owners, uh, probably about 4.5 years now, and we've seen people grow their businesses. They started, I mean, we saw them with 500,000 profit, and now they're profiting like 3 million. And then you see them again, and they're like crushing it. They're like 7 million now. They're on the way to do a 10 million profit. Well, guess what? They're so focused on their business that they don't have the time, or maybe but they do have the desire, but they don't have the time to invest in like learning all this new real estate related stuff. Okay. So again, understand who are you talking to and then fix their problem, add value. Okay. So you're going to bring their solution. So again, as of right now, I never told you go, go. Well, I mean, you want to attend events. If you want to attend events, there's a lot of the events that are free. But think about it: who trusts you, who knows you, who already believes in you and wants you to do well, and then share the information that you have. But also, you need to spend some time understanding what is the problem that you're solving. Okay. So if you haven't under, if you don't have that clear answer in front of you, you need to spend some time understanding what is the problem that you're solving. Okay. So let's suppose that you are really good at finding deals. You're really good at analyzing deals, or you're paying somebody to help you analyze deals. Okay. Okay. And again, I see a lot of people that they just get frozen. They want to do it all. They were like they want to master everything. You can. And even if when you already know how to do it, like we know how to raise capital, we know how to manage deals, how to find deals, how to analyze deals. But do I want to do it all? No, not for every deal. That's why we partner with other people. So I want you to start realizing like the things that you're caught up. Maybe you've been crazy looking for deals, crazy busy, not crazy crazy, and now you're like, well, maybe I should spend more time making connections with other people so I can bring investors. Now this morning we just got a call with an investor. He wants to put $1 million in each of our deals. Like so think about it. If you're not putting yourself out there, people is not going to reach out to you. The reason why he reached out to us is because we have been out there. He's one of the 1,200 people that we connected last year. Okay. So, but again, you have to be intentional. You have to continue to show up. You have to, yes, sometimes invest in yourself, invest in being in the room. We have paid so much money to be in proximity with people that has helped us be where we are. Bless you. So, so because of that, what we do, you repeat successful actions, right? Repeat successful actions, right? So we know what work. How do we know what work? Because we track our numbers. And again, this goes back to how are you tracking your numbers? How are you being intentional? Who are you in proximity with? Um, and who are you bringing in your team, or who are you mimicking? All right. If you see somebody being super successful, find out what they're doing. We study our mentors. We are in proximity with our mentors so that we can see what they're doing, and then you mimic and master. Okay. So I'm not saying go copy what they're doing, but certainly the actions you need to copy. All right. So if you don't have a mentor, and you again, what I'm sharing with you is not, I'm not telling you to go pay a lot of money. You can do these days, you can find mentors online. Do you never even meet, right? You don't have to travel. Everything is out there. Information is out there. The lack of information uh, being used as an excuse is no longer an excuse, because you have information at your fingertips. Again, what you need is to meet people, so be in front of people, and then add tremendous value. Look, so we give, and then you ask. So when people is like, well, um, I have a deal now, and the first call that I'm making to the people that I met is like, hey, do you want to invest with me? That wasn't like give, and then ask, right? So you need to start, tracking what are you doing so that you can add value. So remember, I told you the people in your church, the people in your school, maybe your co-workers, guess what? Give them today. Give them what you learn. Give them what you're learning, that learning as you're learning it. The best time for you to teach something is when you just learn it. And the best way to be attentive and absorb the things that you need to absorb when you're let's say in a presentation, is to learn it from in a position as if you're going to teach it to somebody. Because when you're learning it and you are thinking, oh gosh, I'm going to have to teach this to somebody, you are taking notes, you're engaged, you're asking questions, you're asking clarifications, you are putting the things in your own words to see how I'm going to pitch. I still remember the first time that I learned about syndications. It was a meeting that we had. Well, I learned about it on on a podcast, and I'm like, oh my gosh, what is like? So you get together with people, and like, so I started like, reading a little bit more about it. There was not a lot of information when I first learned about syndications. There was, and there was, that was a very small podcast that I was listening to. It wasn't like. Like it was for more like for single families. So really there was nothing right now. If you Google syndications in my name, please. Just kidding. Now, if you Google syndications, you're gonna get so much information, good and bad. Okay, good and bad. Um, but I remember the first time that we sit down with somebody that actually knew about syndications, and they spent, I don't know, like 2, 3 hours with us just answering our questions. And I was taking so much, like I was taking notes. I was just like trying to learn. I've actually found those notes no long ago, and I remember writing down SEC, and I'm like, I don't know what this is, but they mention it, so I'm gonna write it down. I was in learning mode, but first of all, I needed to learn it for myself. Okay, so again, repetition. You have to do the over and over and over. You cannot expect to do it once and then be like, you're like, okay, now I feel so comfortable pitching in front of somebody. Okay, you need to repeat. You need to do it the first time that you do it, and the next 99 times that you do it, you're going to suck at it. Well, guess what? Get those out of the way. Be done with those. Once that you do it 100 times, you're going to start feeling a little bit more confident. You're going to start like, not necessarily having to read all your notes. You can have a conversation without without a presentation. You start feeling more comfortable. It becomes your second or third or fourth language, whatever how many language you speak. Okay, but until then, you're gonna suck. Do you rather suck doing it now that you don't have a deal, or you want to suck while you have a deal and your money is at risk? All right. Let me get to the questions. I feel like I abandoned you guys. You're muted, Chris. I can hear you in the room, but not, and you're muted. Uh, no, you're kind of frozen. All right. So if you guys don't have a CRM, and if you are looking for a CRM so that you can optimize your time, your systems, have a system to follow up, I actually want to give you some stats before I go on to that. It's always, it's not the first time that I've seen them, but every time I review them, I'm like, oh my gosh, this is crazy. But anyway, if you don't have a CRM and if you want to use the one we have, again, it's $97. So much that you can do. You can build your own AI there. You can use all the technology so that you can save so much of your time. Okay. But anyway, where are my stats here? Where are my stats? I just wrote them down. Oh my gosh, I can't find them. Okay, here you go. Follow-up facts. I want to read this straight from my material here. So 2% of all sales, or in this case, conversions that your investor want to invest with you, 2% of all of those interactions convert in the first time that you call. Meaning, let's say I pick up the phone and I'm calling 100 people. 2% of that 100 people are going to say, yes, I want to invest with you. I'm ready. I've been waiting for your deal. Okay, 2%. 3% on the second call or second contact. 5% on the third contact. All right. So again, if you need to raise $1 million and you convert 5% of the people that you talk to, how many people do you need to talk to so that you can have raise that $1 million? Now, 10% convert on the fourth contact, and 80%, you now no, yeah, I can hear. Okay.
It's
80%.
working. Thanks. Sorry.
All right. So 80% of those conversations or those people that you talk to, 80% of them are going to convert when you follow up in the 5th to the 12th. That was, I would say, about 3 years ago. 80% of those that you talk to are going to say, yes, I want to invest with you after 5 to 12 average, 5 to 12 contacts or touch points. now we just got the new stats. It's after 22 to 28 contacts. And you know why? Because you are competing against so many other ways that these people are getting distracted. Taxes are due. I got distracted. The storm hit. I just got distracted. Like now I'm seeing another Bitcoin offering. I got distracted. My kids are whatever. So you're fighting against so much distraction that if you're not continuously staying in front of them, and again, remember, you need to use technology. You need to use all of these tools that are available. If you're not using them, you're trying to raise capital. Like if we were raising capital maybe about when we started. Let's just put it this way. So if you're not using all those systems, I guarantee you, you're going to go crazy. All right, guys, we do have another meeting with partners and we want to be respectful of everybody's time. I didn't read all the questions, but I believe Chris was adding value here. So if you have any questions that I did not respond to, please send them to my text by text is probably best to 512-900-9763 and I will send a follow up with you guys. And if you want to try our AI tool, just ask questions as if you're asking Chris and Maricela, and let us know how that works for you, and see if we actually added value.
Number,
It's
number
not.
for
Chris,
AI
your
tool.
reception is really bad. Yeah, I'm gonna send you a text and just text back so that you can see our AI in action. All right. So guys, thank you so much for being here. Go crush it. We want to do deals with you guys, and that's what we do. All these interactions spend a lot of time. And remember, this training, this webinar right now is not free. This is not free. This is worth your time. So you already spent the time to be here. So my question to you is, what are you gonna do that you learned here, what are you going to do and put in practice so that you can go build that empire that you want? What are you going to do? So if you comment, text it, put in whatever you find out about this event, just put it there. I would love to hear what is it that you're going to implement so that you can raise those millions of dollars that and serve all of those investors that are waiting for you to take action. All right, guys. Thank you so much. I apologize for Chris's his I don't know why his internet is very, very choppy. We're in the same room. Isn't that crazy? Huh?
Have a great week. We'll see y'all.
Bye, guys.